Okay, guys, we are here with our next stranger. Could you tell us your name and a little about yourself, or whatever you'd like to be called?
I'm George. I live in the UK and I like woodwork.
Yeah, so you said that your family is pretty into woodworking and stuff.
Yeah, my dad and my brother both carpenters. I've got my own little shed, so it's handy because I can keep my own stuff in it.
What is it about woodworking that you like in particular?
It's more on just using your hands and got something to do because controllers it's constant. I would rather do woodworking than constantly playing games all the time because if you're constantly playing games, one, it hurts your eyes. Two, it gets boring. But if you're doing something with woodwork, you can get creative because I've seen people make all sorts of cool stuff. Like me and my dad, we've made a shed. We've
So cool.
done all sorts of stuff.
Do you work with your brother too? Do the three of you guys all do stuff together?
Um, we used to. My brother is now out somewhere else. He's with his partner and my niece. So
Oh, cool. Awesome. Do you like, so are you living at home?
yeah, currently living at home because I'm trying to get into the military at the moment.
Oh, dude, awesome. Like what branch?
The Royal Air Force.
Wow. What is it about like do they like is wood could you like putting woodworking on your resume like could that help you get into a particular part of the Air Force that you want to get into?
Um, it could do, yes. But, like, in the engineering side, probably yeah, it would help a lot. But I'm more of the weapons side of it because I like to involve weapons and stuff.
Hmm, cool. So like with I was actually yesterday I was just talking to a guy who from the military here in the US
Yeah,
and and he was like in a barracks and stuff. So like with so what is it about weapons that kind of interests you?
it's more on when you. It's more on like something different because the UK we've got completely different gun laws to the people in the US because you can own any weapon you really want, but in the UK all we get is a shotgun and a hunting rifle. So it's the main thing we can only use.
Do you think that the laws would you prefer to have the laws in the U.S. over in the U.K.?
Not at all. I like I like UK laws because I I would love to go to America, but all you hear at the moment is just gun crime, gun crime, gun crime. It puts me off completely.
Hmm.
But I would visit.
Yeah. What is it about the UK laws that you think that are better than the gun laws in the US that you know of?
It's more on that um, they're very like strict because in the US you can have like concealed carry and all sorts of stuff like that. In the UK, you have to have it shown. Like you can't be having it secret anywhere because well, one, you can't even hide a shotgun.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine walking down the streets of London with a shotgun? Dude, you get
Yeah,
tackled immediately.
yeah, like because yeah, but in the UK, like you can buy disused weapons. Like I've gone to someone's house and they've had like RPGs, AKs on the wall and all that. As long as they're disused, you can have them.
Oh, interesting. That's
Yeah.
like how do you like what do you do with that? Just like take out like the inner chambers or stuff or
They either do that or they weld or concrete the actual barrel itself. Because I've seen that a lot. Because I've been involved with I do cadets sometimes. So I've used weapon systems what the RAF use and the military. So when we train with them, it's either got a welded barrel or it's just been concreted up.
what do you have to do to join like the Air Force? Is it a pretty rigorous process?
Um, I think you'll find it's a lot easier because let's say for your military, you have really strict camps. Like when you go to like your boot camp, it is constantly strict, getting shouted at and all that. But with the UK, because we're a lot more chill with stuff, we ease it out because we you do your contacts and all that. You then sign up, do your basic fitness test, your swimming test, medical test. Make sure you're fit and going. Then from there, you'll you go 2 years basic training. So learning the weapon system, learning what you actually want to do, and how like seeing all the different kind of branches of the RAF. And then from there, you get to pick your role, what you want to do.
Oh, that's cool. Like you'll end up being like a general one day, and I can be like, hey, like I interviewed a general when he was like doing his woodworking. That's amazing. Is that
Yeah,
something you'd want to do? Like kind of climb up the ranks, or
it does like when you get into the rank one. Also, it's good because it gets you it it shows you that you're progressing in life and that you're actually getting somewhere. And two, it's also better pay.
let's not forget that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll probably be nice to. When are you expecting to join up?
I don't know currently because I'm having medical stuff sorted out. So like you can't have like nut allergies or lactose.
Do you have those kind of like those kind of
When
things?
I was a lot younger, I had lactose intolerance, but because it weren't actually determined by a doctor, it was just my family decided to. Because I used to eat a lot of chocolate when I was younger, and it used to just bring it back up.
Oh shoot!
But now it's all fine. I can eat whatever I want, really.
So just kind of like going through the motions of, or I guess like the paperwork of proving that you're not that
Yeah,
stuff now. Hmm.
yeah, really.
Do you think that you'll enjoy being at home, or do you think you'll miss it leaving?
Uh, I mean, because of the whole quarantine and because in the UK, in America, your schools are still actually running at the moment, but in the UK, the people who did their final years, well, doing their final years, they got cut off of it. So we never got to do our final exams.
So what does that mean? So I guess like you still need to
It
take
ba-
those.
it basically means instead of getting our GCSE results, we get our results that we've been predicted.
That's kind of weird. What do you think of that? That's kind of dumb, right?
It's very annoying.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So like when you join up at the Air Force, will you be going far away? Will you be staying close to home? You think?
Because I want to do a paratrooper side, so I'm jumping out of planes and all that.
No way.
It depends because you could like training a lot is all in the UK and all that, but when you actually get into services, you could be going anywhere. So you'd be going into the middle of a war or something.
No. Interesting. The so I've just been asking you a lot of questions. Like, is there anything that you kind of has been going on in your mind lately that I don't know, some like an issue you've been thinking about, or some kind of like life thing that you'd be interested in kind of like bouncing an idea off of?
Um, I mean, really, at the moment, it's more. It's kind of. I feel really like my year. I feel so bad for it because we got cut off of a lot of our education
Hmm.
because that was the main thing. What was worrying me because for some roles in the RAF, let's say you want to become a pilot, you need good grades for that. And if you're doing really well, if you're doing really bad, but you're actually slowly starting to get better, they cut off us for that. So I did want to be a pilot, but now because of my grades and they're not that best, I've kind of had to go down the other ranks.
Hmm. What was it? The school that you like in terms of the grades? Was it like were you was the school not very good? Like was the Why do you?
I'll be honest, my school
Yeah.
wasn't the best because when I was bullied a lot. I mean a lot because throughout year 7, 8, 9, 10, I was probably bullied. Not many people know, hardly anyone knows this, but there was one point in my life where I was thinking very suicidal stuff because it got to me that much of people just taking the piss out of you constantly, just annoying you.
Dude, the same thing happened with me, man. And so many people like on on this channel on Omegle have been talking about bullying and just like how it's
Mm,
really taken a lot of wind out of their sails and has kind of like just it's been very demoralizing and I don't I don't
yeah,
know.
but the one thing I'd said what got me back on my feet would have been in my cadet because when you had your downtime, well, when you're feeling really down, and you went to cadets, it was nice because you could socialise there. You got people who are actually nice. If you have issues, you can talk to them. Plus, just some nights are just really fun.
Yeah, it's just like a community of people that have like respect for you and that you have respect for them. It's
Mm.
like
Yeah,
what
especially for me, because I'm one of the high-ranking cadets out of my whole squadron.
awesome, dude.
It's quite nice because a lot of people will start to respect you if you got a rank. Because if you let's say someone at cadets, let's say they bullied you at school, but they just joined and they start taking the pee out of you. One, you have the right to start shouting at them, so it's the best thing.
Hmm.
But two, it's more on that you can actually say to the person in charge there that that person's not the nicest to me at school. Is it all right if you can try and keep them away from me? And they will do that because one, they're not only there just for the cadet side. They're there for they're there for you like if you're in need of talking to someone desperately or something like that.
That's yeah, that's like so what do you think it is about these other people that bullied you that like what was it about them you think that made them so bad? Like did they have do you think they had stuff going on at home or they just weren't educated enough to like talk about their feelings or communicate like a I don't know.
Some of them I have a feeling yes because I actually ended up when I was a lot younger. I ended up making friends, like really good friends with all of my bullies. But when it got to like my secondary school, because one I'm dyslexic, so I can't read properly and all that. Whenever English or something like that was happening, because I used to stutter a lot on words, you just hear people laughing their heads off in the background. It will really just demoralises you.
Ah, yeah. That's it's also like I mean like school isn't really supposed to be a place where you discipline kids, you know? It's like that stuff is learned at home,
Mm,
you know? A lot of that stuff is learned at home.
yeah. I'll also say probably another point would be because in my like in my year, a lot of people somehow managed to find a really quick and easy way, like under the radar, to get like weed or stuff like that. And I'll say that definitely affects stuff because you could be walking past the toilets and then you just start smelling marijuana, and you just know something's going to go down if not.
Hmm. So do you think weed like contributes a lot to what do you think weed contributes a lot to? I guess I'm not seeing the connection.
For me, it's more on. I think it's the mental side of stuff because at first they can be really chill and actually just completely ignore you. But when they some of them when they've actually done weed and or like drink because they have brought alcohol in, and that's the school before. Whenever that happens, it definitely messes up with them because they could be a completely different person.
Ah, I see. Interesting. Do you think that like is weed legal in the UK?
Not at all. It's a class A drug here.
Oh, interesting. What do you think about? Do you think that like weed should be legalized, or do you think like what do you think about like the drinking age in the UK? and like weed and stuff.
Because the drinking age here is a bit different. Because as long as you're with family members, you can drink as much as you want, as long as they say. Plus 18, you can drink as much as you want. That's why a lot. If you ever watch UK TV and stuff like that, you can see whenever young people go up to party, it's either people who just turned 18 or in their 20s. It's never people like who are like really close to their 30s because then it ends up ruining.
Yeah, you get really tired. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Do you think that the way that alcohol is handled in the UK is healthy?
Um, I I'm being honest. I don't like. I prefer that. What I think like yes, you can drink at 18 if you like go to a bar. Like yeah, you can get some drinks, but there should be a limit on what you should be allowed because you just see people in sometimes like when the UK when football's always on, the streets are just full of people who are pissed out their heads,
Mm,
and it involves because they just drink as much as they can because they think it's fun.
mm, and you think that and for you, you're not a fan because it's disruptive and can lead to bad situations.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. It's really cool hearing your perspective. Um,
Mm.
like I'm interested too in like because I ask a lot about kind of like family history and stuff. Like, were your parents also involved in the military?
Only one of my family members were, and that was my great uncle Richard.
Mhm.
He was in the RAF as well. He was a pilot for one of the aircraft that we used to fly.
Cool. Are your is your family pretty supportive of you entering the military, you think?
Yeah, they keep saying go ahead and do it. It's like yeah, you do get some family members who are always like cautious on what happens in the military and always see a lot of bad things happening, but there's always good sides of it because a while ago, not you're not constantly going into battlefields and all that most of the time because a while ago when the UK started flooding a lot when we had that massive rainy season,
Mm.
um, a dam broke up near North and it flooded the flooded the town really badly. So what the military did, they got one of our heavy lifting helicopters and they just drop in sandbags and all that down for good things.
Yeah, just kind of like just kind of like making sure that that your country is safe. You know, like that's
Yeah.
and it seems to me that that's one of the main intentions why you're going into it.
Mm,
You know. Hmm.
yeah.
Well, before we get going, are there any other things that you'd like to talk about or say that you feel like you left out?
Um, Sort of one little thing. If
Yeah,
it
totally.
for people who start getting you down and all that, for me, a little tip is if they start getting you down, ignore them at the start and find something else to do completely what they wouldn't do. So let's say they were you're playing football or something and they start playing football and taking the piss at you. You could go find something else like they hate doing and completely just gets rid of like what happens then.
Yeah, avoid it. That's a strategy to avoid that toxicity in your life. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what? Life is too short to try to live with people who are toxic. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, man, dude. Like I'm excited for people to watch your video because you're very thank you for being so open and talking about your story and stuff and
It's all
um
right.
yeah, man, it was awesome talking to you.
Nice
And
talking to you as well.
yeah, and so I'm gonna be putting this video up in like 5 minutes. So check it out, and you take care. Okay, good luck with everything.
You take care as well.
All right, man. See you later.
In a bit.
Bye. Both George and Shane yesterday got into the military because it was a place where they felt there was self respect. Two military people back to back, both talking about just finding a place where they felt respected. I mean, this is, if we focused on teaching kids how to respect one another as human beings, like in class, if that were our education, the world would be a much different place. Okay. Thanks, guys.